Hey everyone, welcome back to CodeCore. In today's video, we're going to learn a key concept in Python, which is how to read user input so your programs can interact with people. This is one of the first steps towards building dynamic, useful applications. So let's break it down together. A user input means your program asks the user for information, for example, a name, an age, a password, or even a command. And in Python, we use a built-in function called input to get that information. It poses the program and waits for the user to type something. Here's our first example. So we're going to do with a name and do input, then the text that we want to send the person before having their information. So what's your name? And then we print out hello and the name that they have provided. Let's see what this does in the terminal. So what's your name? Let's put, for example, code core, hello code core. Something important to note, the value returned by input is always a string, even if the user types a number. So let's try with numbers. Let's say we want to ask for a person's age and do some math with it. So we're gonna replace name to age, and this time ask for the person's age. And then in the print statement, we're going to put age plus 1. Let's see what this does. Python input.py, enter your age. Let's do a random number, 4 for example. As you can see, there's an error because it says can only concatenate strings. So to avoid this error, we need to convert the input to an integer using int. So let's do this. So we're putting int, then the input statement. And for example, we can add some text there and say next year you will be, and give the age plus 1. And now the code works and we can safely do math. You can also use floats if you're working with decimal numbers. So for example, if we want to ask the user for their weight, here's how we do. So we're going to do weight equals float this time. Then we're going to replace this by saying your weight is. Once again, put the name of the variable and then add kg, because we want their weight in kg for this example, since it's with floats. Let's see what this does. So cd inputs, python input.py, enter your weight, let's say 50. Your weight is 50 kilograms. Perfect. We can also combine multiple inputs. So let's try this. Let's say that we want the user to give 2 numbers and we'll give it the sum. So first equal int input, and we're gonna do the same but with second instead of first. And then we'll print out their sum is, and do the addition kind of like the age plus 1, but this time it's going to be first plus second. Let's try it out. So 3 and 4, the sum is 7. Perfect. Also guys, it's always a good idea to guide your user with clear prompts. So use friendly messages in inputs. For example, if you want to ask the user for the name of their city, so city equal input, and then we'll write which city do you live in. And you can format the response by doing print, then f, then the text. So for example, then the name of the city between those symbols. So it's probably new to you guys if you're a beginner in Python, but yeah. Let's try it out. For example, if we say the name of the city Tokyo, Tokyo sounds nice. Also some things to note. If the user types a letter when you're expecting a number, your program might crash, but later on you'll learn to handle this with try and accept, But for now, just know that int and floats require valid numbers. So to sum it up, input always gives you a string, and make sure you convert it with int or float if you need it. Use print to display results, and always write clear prompts for your user. And that's it for today's video on reading user input in Python. Now you're ready to start building interactive programs. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. And I will see you in the next one.